5-1 in their last 6 coming off a bye week. Toronto's won 8 in a row coming off a bye week. Both of these teams coming off a bye week. Something's got to give, and we are underway in Montreal. A high short kick. Janarian Grant far sideline, and he'll take it out just beyond the 40, and that's where we will get our first look at Nick Arbuckle.
So I mentioned 1-4 this year and 2-4 against Montreal. That's the bad news for Argo fans. The good news is Nick Arbuckle is tied with Vernon Adams on the explosive plays down the field over 30 yards. He's got a good receiving core that he can get the football to. They are big-time underdogs in this game and should be, but Nick Arbuckle, don't rule him out. All you have to do is think back to the Grey Cup last year.
Kind of a good game. Completing almost 72% of his passes so far this year. They'll start on their own 42. Fakes the handoff, turns. Now dumps it back towards his running back, Mac Mahan, who returns to the lineup. And that goes incomplete. Let's take a look at this Toronto offense.
Adam Dankwa is playing for Ryan Hunter. More on that as the game goes on. He's playing at that right tackle position. And the backs and receivers, they do get Deontay McMahon back at running back. And boy, do the Argos need a run game to help with a little balance in their offense, help Arbuckle out.
Dead last in the league, just 46 yards per game on the ground, and they're going up against the best rushing defense in the league. Arbuckle throwing here, though. From the pocket, in trouble, throws it away before he is taken down. Uguak forcing Arbuckle to move it quickly.
There is no infraction for intentional grounding. Toronto number 10 was there. Incomplete pass.
Mital was close enough to Arbuckle. It was behind the line of scrimmage, so he was close enough to Arbuckle that there will be no intentional grounding.
Haggerty called into duty for the first time this evening. Cloud cover here in Montreal. A couple of downpours earlier in the day, and we are sweaty in the booth. Now this is hammered away. Letcher takes it cleanly at the 26. Picks his way back just short of the 35. And that's where we finally get to see Davis Alexander return to the lineup for the Alouettes.
Yeah, when he left, they were 3-0, 75% completion percentage, 5 touchdowns, just the 2 interceptions, and without him, have lost 2 straight. So Montreal and their fans real happy to get their starter back. Now it's a hamstring injury, and they can be a little bit tricky. We'll see about his mobility early in this one.
Just 18.5 points per game without him. When he's in the lineup, they average 35. Huge difference. On the run to his right, has a completion on the far side of the field, and that is into the hands of Tyler Sneed to get Montreal started.
Yeah, nice little play action, easy half rollout for Davis Alexander just to get started. A little rollout to the right. He's got receiver open in the flat after the play action. Nice way to get started.
15 yards to Tyler Sneed. Already 300 yards on the season coming in this one for Sneed. He's caught 81% of the passes thrown in his direction. Extra protection on the line, and a flag flies beyond the secondary on the handoff to Sean Thomas Erlington.
Well, you may have picked up, if you have your volume up loud, you may...
Violation, remettre le ballon en jeu, Montreal number 10. 5-yard penalty. Still first down, premier repris.
Well, and the reason for that is that Davis Alexander at the line of scrimmage said, kill, kill, kill. That means he's killing the play that was called in the huddle and calling one right on the line of scrimmage.
Reset the game clock to read.
But they're making an adjustment to the clock.
Threw a couple seconds on it, I believe. First and 15 after the 5-yard penalty. Alexander looking for his running back again. And that one thrown short at the feet of Erlington.
Justin Lawrence will be the guy who's got to call out the blitzes up front, make sure everyone up front is blocking where they should be blocking. Pierre-Olivier Lestage will talk about what happened in their last game as this game goes on. They do get Austin Mack back in the lineup. That's a true deep threat for Davis Alexander.
They have to look in his direction here on a 2nd and 15. 3 options out to his wide side left. Quickly to the right. High ball, but it's hauled in and held on to. Won't be enough for a first down, but they get Charleston Rambo involved. His 13th catch of the year.
Also on the receiving core, you might have heard it in the pregame show, Tyson Philpott is a late scratch in this game tonight. So Daniel Oladejo will play. He's former Ottawa Red Black. He gets to dress tonight. Got the call an hour before kickoff. There's Philpott in street clothes. So questionable coming in this week. Couldn't go after warm-up.
Grant and Ungerer await this kick. Zima stands on his own 40. A chance to pin the Argos deep early in this game. I'll hang up there. Towering kick. And Janarian Grant watches it as it flies out of bounds, and they will mark this at the 12. Arbuckle will get his second crack at it here tonight when we return to Montreal. The 1-win Argos looking to pull off a bit of an upset. Well, maybe the most important thing in football, Suits, is to look after the ball, and one of these teams certainly does. The other one, not so much.
Yeah, that's a very telling stat line right there, especially the takeaways. Montreal leads the league with 13. We're tied, and back there in 9th is the Argos. So that's the difference, and that's what has to change for Ryan Dinwiddie's group.
Argos, they'll hand it off. McMahon cuts it back. Had some lead blockers helping him pick up a few yards on first down.
Isaac Adiemi-Berglund leads their team with 3 sacks so far on the season. In the linebacking core, Najee Murray will move from the halfback spot down into that linebacking core, be the cover linebacker. And back in the secondary, the leader is Kevion Ento, is the leader in interceptions. I'm feeling that Marc-Antoine Dequoy is due.
There's your pregame prediction.
He's due for something tonight.
On the ground again. First down. McMahon takes it out beyond the 25. And boy, if they can establish the run early in this game, that could go a long way. That one's good for 6.
Well, they've got to. I mean, there's just no question about it. McMahon back in the lineup. They've gone through a couple of guys now. And I would even say and suggest that the Argos may miss Kadeem Carey at this point in the season without a run game. I mean, they rank dead last rushing the football.
Receivers out to the left for Arbuckle. That's where he looks. Mital takes it, spins away from a tackler, and pushes it ahead. Got about half of what they needed through the air on that time.
So here's Toronto's run game, and it has just been non-existent at 46.2 rushing yards per game. That's dead last by a long shot. It's not close. Against the Montreal defense, ranked number 1 against the run. So it's going to be a tall order. But 2nd and 5 for Nick Arbuckle, where he can manage the game and then make those big plays as it evolves, is going to be crucially important.
Certainly would make things a little bit easier for Arbuckle. He wants to throw here. Bouncing around the pocket. He's got a man. It's Ungerer. And that's going to be a first down for Toronto as they give themselves some breathing room on a drive that started at the 12.
Yeah, case in point, that if it's 2nd and 10, not 2nd and 5, that crossing route was the only open receiver for Arbuckle. As you saw him go through his reads, and that's just a 6-yard gain. Because they had success on first down running it, get a new set.
Argos offensively, 6th in the league at 25.6 points per game coming into the week, up to their own 37 here. McMahon clears out in the flat to the left of Arbuckle. They come back around to the right side. Mittal has his second catch of the ball game, but it doesn't go anywhere.
A lot of what Montreal does defensively, and it can get complicated, I'm going to oversimplify, is they're going to see Darnell Sankey's in here, and they'll drop out defensive linemen. They'll show blitz. And that's why the run game is so important. You see Eddie Berglund, number 91, dropping out of there. He's a defensive end. And if you can catch them in those show looks, dropping defensive linemen, you can get your run game going against this defense.
No gain on that pass to Mittal. 2nd and 10 for Arbuckle. 4-man rush from the Alouettes. Climbs the pocket, dumps it off. McMahon gets an opportunity on the right side. And I thought Mittal was going to come down and block for him, but he didn't need it. He's got a first down, 16 yards.
Yeah, you're going to see show blitz again. Marc-Antoine Dequoy is in there looking like he's coming on a safety blitz. And once again, it's a show blitz. Antoine Dequoy drops out of there, as does Darnell Sankey. You're just never sure which one, 3 or 4 or 5 pass rushers are going to be after quarterback and which are going to drop. But McMahon gets the edge on that show blitz.
30 total yards of offense already in this game for McMahon. Kalen Laybourne in the game now. They'll get it to Mittal. Turns it. Crosses midfield before he's gang tackled. But obviously getting Mittal heavily involved in the game here early.
Yeah, you've done a couple Argo games, so have I. This is the first time I've seen a play like this where it's just almost a tip underneath. That would, I guess, be considered a forward pass to Mittal. What an outstanding athlete Kevin Mittal is. I think we're just scratching the surface on this young man.
5th overall pick in the 2024 draft. Arbuckle was 0 for 2 on the first possession. He's 5 for 5 on this drive. Laybourne remains in the game at running back. Arbuckle takes off, has a ton of room. He's got a first down and a slide close to the 40.
So Laybourne is the running back on this play, and he's going to go out of the backfield quickly, and watch who covers him. Darnell Sankey's going right to him. That means that Arbuckle knows there's no middle linebacker. If he can find a running lane, doesn't like what he sees in the first throw, finds a running lane, and away he goes. No middle linebacker because Darnell Sankey was out there in coverage.
Now for a team that averages less than 50 yards on the ground per game, they've got 25 already in this one. 6 on the line for the Argos here. Arbuckle in trouble, sidesteps an attacker, and misses on the near side. It was in the direction of Janarian Grant.
Talking about Kevin Mittal Laval back home, playing in front of, what was it in the pregame? About 35 family and friends.
That's a good chunk of tickets.
Had to get tickets for over 100 yards last week. 8 catches versus Hamilton for 104 to be exact. And like I said, I think he's just getting started. He's understanding the nuances of the game, what his offense is leaning on him a lot more, and he's become a very reliable receiver.
That's their only 100-yard game of the season for a receiver. Free man, Arbuckle gets it away. And on the near sideline, Mittal hauls that in. Kennedy was on his back, but 10 in white comes away with it. 4-yard pickup.
Bit of a sidearm throw from Nick Arbuckle because of the pressure. Had to throw around that pressure. Eddie Berglund has a free lane to him, so he bails quickly. It looked like Robert Kennedy may cut underneath that. He's playing at that halfback spot for Najee Murray, who's moved up into the box. Strong hands by Mittal to bring it in. And
it'll be 3rd and 6.
Field goal opportunity, though, because of that catch. Without it, they're out of range.
45-yarder, Aralahu for the first points of the evening here in Montreal. That kick is up, and that is straight down the middle. And a drive that started on the Toronto 12 ends in points. Davis Alexander. More on him when we return to Montreal. Davis Alexander back at the helm of this Montreal offense. Already in some pretty good company there, isn't he?
Yeah, if he gets to 8-0, he ties Danny McManus. Now, okay, so Bo Levi Mitchell and Davis Alexander are still playing. Who do you pick in your fantasy? You get one pick.
Yeah, easy answer, man. Damon Allen. Rushing yards. You get rushing yards in fantasy. Oh. It's a cheat code. Damon Allen would have been the first pick for 10 straight years. Alexander, Rambo, first down and a little bit more. 13 on the play for Rambo.
Well, I've been watching Davis Alexander real closely because a hamstring can be a tricky injury. It's still in your mind even when you're healthy again, and the health, you've been cleared by the medical staff that the hamstring is solid and intact. And you see he moves outside, gets that lead shoulder around. Really good at throwing from rolling out on his left side.
Travis Tice in the game at running back, stands to the left of Alexander. Rambo again, and that's a hot shot that he gets underneath at the Toronto 50.
Andrew Chatfield has been a story this year. Rookie out of Eastern Washington, played one game in Ottawa and then was traded by the Argos. More on that as the game goes on. They get their leader back in the middle in Winton McManus. That's going to make a huge difference, especially against the run. And I don't know, I just have a feeling about the safeties tonight. Derek Sluka has made some big plays, and they need some big plays out of that back end.
That's a quick hitter, near side. Speaker for the first time today. Very close to a first down, and they do have it. This is a nice response here from Montreal after a 7-minute drive for the Argos. That's big drive from Toronto, just over 7 minutes, and now Davis Alexander looking to respond.
And about 5 yards from comfortable field goal range at the very least.
Jose Maltos, long on the year, is 50s, connected at just under 89%. Pressure from Toronto. Alexander found his fullback.
Oh, man, I just watched Davis Alexander after the throw kneel down on one knee right after the throw, and I went, oh, no, oh, no. And then he went and tied his shoe.
Oh. So that's okay. That's okay.
Well, we're looking from the booth now. Watch, here he goes, and then he watches this, and then he goes down, and I thought, uh-oh. And then, no, it was just got to get my shoe tied. There we go.
No reason to panic. Alexander near side. Big hit on Speaker. Looks like McFadden got the worst of that. 7-yard pickup. Bring up third down, likely field goal attempt.
Well, Speaker got the ball just in time to turn around and be able to absorb this hit and actually, become the nail or become the hammer a little bit here. See how he gets a chance to turn and then lower the shoulder. Hopefully McFadden is okay. It's one of those stingers where...
As they look at McFadden, we'll step away. 3rd and 3, and Montreal is going to go for it. They are inside field goal range, but Davis Alexander is going to look to pick up the first down here and keep this drive alive. Looks to his left, throws to his left. Speaker wide open. First down, Montreal inside the 30.
I'm surprised in a 3rd and 3 gamble like that the Argos went with a zone defense. And it looked like they may be trying to get the call and maybe weren't sure what defense to play because there's some gaps in that zone, and Davis Alexander is going to find it. I think in a 3rd and 3, you get up right in the face, play press coverage all the way across the line of scrimmage, and don't give any freebies up.
First 9 plays of the game from scrimmage from Montreal have been passes. They have yet to run the ball. Tice is in there at running back now. Alexander on the roll to his right. Thought about an end zone shot, dumps it off. Incomplete at the feet of Cole Speaker.
John Edward played that very well, playing in there for McFadden. He has to go out for at least 3 plays. This is the second one, and it'll be to the right of your screen. As he rolls out here, 31 is going to take the flat route and then drop off deep, and that indecision by Davis Alexander was caused by John Edward.
Montreal from the Toronto 29. Argos send 5. Alexander hit as he throws. And that is incomplete. Was looking in the direction of Rambo. That's his 4th target of the ball game. But now they will have to settle for a field goal attempt.
Yeah, and there's some boxes that you have to check if you're coming back off injury, really in any position, but certainly quarterback. And one of them is that first hit. So Alexander takes his first hit. Seen him rolling out a couple of times. Haven't seen him take off and run with the football in a big way. Just those little rollouts.
37-yard attempt for Maltos to tie this game at 3 late in the first. That's exactly what he will do. That flex on here on a Thursday night in Montreal. We're tied at 3. 8 of 11 in his return so far. For more on Davis Alexander, let's send it down to Matthew Shinetti.
Yeah, Glenn, I was watching in that last series when Davis Alexander went down to check his shoes, just as you were, because he's been dealing with this hamstring issue for months as he was training in the offseason. But competition is who Davis Alexander is. Not only tonight is he looking at 7-0 and potentially looking to tie Danny McManus for the best start a QB has had in the CFL. But when we asked him this week, other records that he's holding right now, he had no problem telling us that right now he's on a 68-0 winning streak in pickleball in the Al's locker room. The last guy to beat him was Cody Fajardo, but the one he said he was really proud of is a real good relationship with Tyler Snead. He's on a 25-game heater in NHL 25 that he's carrying against his friend in the offense. This guy, as Jason Moss says, just likes to win, guys.
So confirmed, Tyler Snead sucks at NHL 25.
Okay, wait, no.
How do you lose that many in a row?
Hold on just 1 second. Tyler Snead is a receiver. You think he's going to beat his quarterback down?
So he's letting him win.
All I'm saying is maybe you don't back check
Wow.
in NHL all that hard when it's your quarterback and you. And you know, you lose 25, but maybe you get the ball a little more in practice, and then it translates into a couple catches in the game, and away you go.
Folding in video games for targets. Unbelievable. First and 15 for Arbuckle. 3 out to his right. That's where he goes. He's got Brissett. It'll only be a short pickup. About 8 when it's all said and done. And that'll do it for the opening quarter. Here in Montreal, we are tied at 3 in the second of 3 meetings between these two Eastern rivals. Welcome back to Thursday Night Football. Alouettes and Argos tied at 3. Pretty even there, but you notice no rushing yards for Montreal. That's because they did not attempt a rush so far in this game. It's been all Davis Alexander throwing the ball so far. What have you thought of him?
Well, I think he's cautious. I think he's being cautious with that hamstring. And I mentioned off the top of the show that a hamstring can be tricky. It's something that's in your mind. Even if you feel healthy and strong, it's still there. You're just a little reluctant to push off and try to redirect full speed. And it looks like he's been a bit cautious. It really hasn't affected his accuracy or anything like that. But whether you're Montreal or the Argos, as we mentioned in the first quarter, a little balance in the offense is going to help him, and that's where Sean Thomas Erlington needs to see a couple of touches.
Second quarter begins with a 2nd and 7 for Toronto on their own 43. 3 on the line for the Alouettes defense. That's all they send. Arbuckle taking a peek to it off. McMahon is running back, and he'll be stopped about a yard shy of a first down.
So the team that is last in the league coming into this game, under 50 yards. Now, McMahon only had 2 carries in the first quarter, but that's the type of way you can get him the ball. It's going to go down as a completion, be a reception, but still important with that tailback, especially when they're showing blitz and dropping defensive linemen or linebackers in Darnell Sankey, the Montreal defense.
3rd and 1. And now it'll be pushed ahead. Mital, ball pops out. Alouettes say they're on it.
Didn't hear a whistle.
And we wait for a ruling.
This is that turnover ratio we talked about early. Maybe trying to get some help from the replay center in real time.
Well, I'm curious if they got up to the 50, which is what they needed for the first down. I don't think we had a official spot there either, but the ball is sitting on the 50. Here we go.
The ball carrier forward progress was stopped before he fumbled the football. La progression du porteur de ballon était arrêtée avant qu'il ne perde le ballon. On va mesurer. We'll measure.
Now you just have to see, to your point, Dustin, is whether or not Mital got enough for the first down, but they're saying that his forward progress was not only stopped, he was going backwards when he lost that ball. Now, officially, you don't have to hear a whistle to stop the play. If the officials feel like it was stopped and then a few seconds later blow their whistle, they can rule as they did in this play.
Could still end up being a turnover here, as they set the chains for a first half measurement. And it is enough for a first down. That was close. Montreal fans not happy, but Mital got it done.
Boy, Davis Alexander wanted that ball in midfield. He had his gear on. He was ready to get out there.
Almost had it. Mital pushed backwards. Forward progress stalling before the ball was stripped out. Had just enough, about half a ball and up. And Toronto, a bit adventurous, but they stay on the field. Brissett near side, got a block, finds midfield before eventually being stopped by Ento and Kennedy.
Yeah, I think one of the questions for Ryan Dinwiddie with this offense is, can he be patient on first down like he's been in this game? Those little hitch screens outside, getting Deontay McMahon involved, a little bit of running game mixed in. Right now, the Montreal defense is bailing. I mean, they're basically lining up at the line of scrimmage, and then they're dropping and sending maybe 3, sometimes 4. So getting one of your playmakers out in space, you just really stick with it.
Toronto needs 4 more yards here. They'll try to get it on the ground, and they will not. Adeyemi Berglund, the eliminator.
Yeah, he steps in the hole there. I mean, this was up on the line of scrimmage, 5-man pressure, and Adeyemi Berglund just beat his man on the outside, and that's where Ryan Hunter usually lines up. Not available for the Argos here tonight.
Letcher awaits this kick on his own 10. Haggerty, one of the bigger punters in the league, kicks it away from the 46. End over end, down and over the head of Letcher, and in and through the end zone for a single. Argos on top 4-3. Big defensive stop here Laybourne, nowhere to go. Well, it's safe to say that Sean Thomas Erlington has made the most of his opportunity in Montreal this year, hasn't he?
Yeah, big time on pace to just blow away his personal best season at 371 yards. He's already just shy of 250. That big game against the BC Lions had 76 yards rushing and a nice fat 7-yard average.
Alexander down the field to the 50. Now inside it as he goes to Austin Mack for the first time today.
Nice protection up front. Austin Mack showing his great speed down the field and then turning it in. Best throw of the night, and the return of Davis Alexander with Austin Mack coming right back to the ball.
It's the longest throw of the night as well. 26 yards to Mack. Alouettes in business. Toronto side of the field here. Alexander pump fake. Steps up, wants a deep shot. He's one down the field for Mack. Broken up. What a play. Looks like he's okay. It's McFadden got a hand on it.
It did look like Austin Mack got in behind by a step. Remember, Forrest McFadden had left the game and had to sit out 3 plays in the last series because of that stinger, and he plays inside in the deep third, and then when he sees the ball, it becomes a man-to-man situation and great closing speed from McFadden. You can see the separation that Mack has created, but closing speed and the right hand on the knockdown. Or I'd like to call pass defended, or PBU.
PBU.
Pass broken up.
I like the big PBU. 2 knockdowns for McFadden so far this year. That in behind Thomas Erlington, the intended target. Montreal has still not attempted a run in this football game. It's been 14 passes from Alexander, and that's it.
I think Jason Moss said, okay, I got my starting quarterback, and I'm just going to...
Let's just throw it.
Let's just throw it every play.
You know what I find really intriguing about this is that Toronto's defense against the run is the worst in the league.
Yeah, I think they need to test it, but you do have Wynn McManus back. That makes a difference. It's a long one.
52-yard attempt. Janarian Grant waits back in the end zone.
Timeout, temps d'arrêt, Montréal.
They have enough.
The wind is blowing into Maltos here.
Yeah,
swirling around a bit.
Clearly he changed his mind.
Yeah.
And by the disposition on the sideline, I would suggest there wasn't enough out there. I only counted 11.
So they will go to the punt instead. That would have been a pretty long kick into the wind that's coming out of that end zone there. Janarian Grant stands right underneath his uprights. Zimonata kick it away instead. Right from midfield. And that one through the end zone.
Directional kicking for both these teams important in this game tonight. Keep them away from those returners.
We will have more on Coxie when we return to Thursday Night Football. Well, very quickly, DeMonte Coxie has become a human highlight reel, specifically on the road right here in Montreal. For more on that, let's send it down to Matthew Shinetti.
And our stats guru, John Proberg, Dusty, is saying that DeMonte Coxie is on pace for 1,400 yards this season, and that, a 1,000-yard season, is literally the one thing he doesn't have. He's got rings, highlight reel catches. But I asked him this week if that 1,000-yard season would matter to him. He said no. Being a father is what matters to DeMonte Coxie. I remember a few years ago when I asked him about his son, Micaiah, and he had a jacket in his locker for his son as a reminder that being a father is so important to him. Now, he has another son, Isaiah. But this year, he had Malachi train with him in the offseason, and that mattered so much to DeMonte Coxie because he said to us this week, he got to see me do what I do. I don't have to tell him. These My sons are who I am, and doing what I have to do on the field is everything, guys.
Well, they got to be proud of Dad, no doubt about it. And that's his first catch of the night that we just saw, but here's what he's working towards.
Well, and he's been targeted on one of those deep balls, the explosions, once in every game and a couple times against Ottawa.
And when you know he can go up and get it, why would you not throw it in his direction? This time they go to McMahon, the running back, and that'll be a first down for the Argos.
Nice when you can lead by example with your son and train and show him this is the work ethic that's necessary, no matter what your kids want to do in their lives. But Damonte Coxie he's more than just a jump ball guy for sure. He's a route runner as well. Great hands.
He leads this team in second down catches as well. He's got 10 of them.
Yeah, he'll catch that tough one over the middle, and he doesn't mind getting his nose dirty either in the blocking department.
Fourth year out of Memphis, breaking a couple of tackles and pushing it ahead again. That's going to be a first down from McMahon.
Good idea to go off that left side, and Doc Stetter and George Moore, and get some blocks up front from left tackle. Little seal, just step out wide so it gets too wide for that defensive end for Montreal. But this is what they wanted from Deontay McMahon, is a guy that can make you miss in the backfield. Great acceleration at the hole.
6 touches in this game, 53 yards for McMahon. 3 through the air, 3 on the ground. Near side, Coxie again. Nice move. Now he cuts it back. And he'll be stopped just short of a first down. But Coxie starting to cook here a little bit.
Well, blitz pickup. So Arbuckle knew he had to get out of his hands quickly. Couldn't block them all up front. You see Sutton come off the edge from the secondary. So he's the outlet in Coxie. And then a real nice move to juke the first couple of guys and pick up good yards on first down.
Dequoy eventually finishing it off. Arbuckle pushing it ahead. Second and just inches. And that's a first down for the Argos as they march on here midway through the second quarter.
I'll tell you what, I'm not sure who you put money on if you're a gambler, but the spread was around 10 when we kicked off. I think if you're Ryan Dinwiddie right now on the road in Montreal against a team that is really angry because of the way they lost against BC a couple weeks ago, I think you're real happy to be at 4-all with your offense driving and in field goal range.
I'd also suggest those who bet the under, if there were any, would be happy with this game so far. Arbuckle to his left. Good play design. All the way down inside the 20. First catch of the day for Tavares Daniels.
Real good play action fake here. And this is something that the Montreal defense isn't used to seeing from Nick Arbuckle, is to get him out on the run. It's a fake going one way, so that freezes the D all the way across the line, freezes him. Arbuckle has the edge now. He's got the option to run or pass. He sees that little curl. Good throw against the flow.
First catches of the game on this drive for both Coxie and Daniels. Inside the red zone from the Montreal 19. Arbuckle hit as he throws. Has a completion on the it bounced away from him. Mital looked like he had it. Lost it when he hit the ground. There is a flag on the play.
Yeah, this was pressure off the bottom of your screen here. Excuse me, coming off the bottom of your screen, and it's Wesley Sutton from the secondary. This is back-to-back plays.
Oh, sure. Montreal numéro 37, Montreal 37, 5-yard penalty. It remains first down, premier repris.
And you see that stumble at the line of scrimmage. That's where he was in the neutral zone with the 5-yard penalty, down over.
Arbuckle has started this game 13 of 17, 95 yards. After the penalty, they'll work from the Alouettes 14. Arbuckle to his left again. Dumps it off just inside the 10, and eventually Brissett will be forced out. They'll mark him just inside the 6.
Boy, this is nice scouting by Ryan Dinwiddie and putting together play package. He sees the slants going this way and freezes the defenders again with the McMahon fake right there. Look how committed they were off the edge. That was Kenton Arku who bought full retail that fake. Arbuckle outside, drops it to Brissett.
9 straight completions for Arbuckle. First and goal for the Montreal 5. Looks to his left. It's deflected at the line and falls incomplete.
3 or 4 times now, Wesley Sutton from the halfback spot has come down under the secondary and come off the edge. This time he times his jump perfectly. That was the hot route, the blitz beater, and didn't get past, basically just got past the line of scrimmage.
The left hand of Sutton forcing Toronto into a second and goal situation. The crowd here in Montreal coming alive. 3 options out to the wide side right for Arbuckle. Looks to the left, throws in that direction. Got it. Touchdown. Argonauts. Coxey's got his 3rd of the season.
Real nice game plan against this defense. There's going to be no underneath help over here, no linebacker. You see Sutton on the blitz again. He's picked up by Tavares Daniels because this time he goes inside. That leaves a one-on-one with Coxey. And a game ball for Sun, possibly.
Oh, they got to be happy if they're watching Daddy on Thursday night. 3 catches on that drive, including the touchdown to finish it. 6-yarder. Aralahu puts one through, and the lead is 7 with just over 5 minutes to play in the first half. Arbuckle putting together a pretty nice drive that ends in the hands of DeMonte Coxey.
You're on the road. You're playing one of the top teams in the division, and you put together a 70-yard, 10-play, 5-minute drive that ends in a major, and you take a nice lead. I think you got to be happy with the first half performance of the Toronto Argonauts if you're Ryan Dinwiddie, this team.
Arbuckle throwing that touchdown pass after his first incompletion in the red zone all season. It was perfect coming into this game. Sutton batted that one down, then right back at Coxey for the touchdown. Fletcher takes it at the 15. Fletcher stays on his feet just outside the 40, and then he's eventually wrapped up by Darkangelo.
You know what I liked about the Arbuckle drive there and the 70 yards and the 10 plays was using play action, the accuracy, staying true to what the defense was giving him and what they were giving him in the first quarter as well. And Ryan Dinwiddie in the play calling being patient with it. You know, those little coaxy plays outside, getting McMahon involved.
He's got to be wearing the drop 9.
Montreal trailing by 7. And another quick completion to Speaker. I keep waiting for them to hand that ball off, but it has not happened yet. Late in the half, Montreal has not attempted to run the ball even once. It's been all Davis Alexander so far. He's closing in on 100 yards.
Well, the other thing about that is your offensive line now is in pass pro all game long. And when you don't give them a chance to go out and block somebody in attack, that starts to get tiring.
2nd and 4. They'll clear it out. Alexander, the far side, picked off on the far side. It's McFadden. The race is onto the end zone, and he's going to be forced out just inside the 15. Second interception of the season for Tavares McFadden.
Your full side is going to come from.
Intended target was Cole Speaker. Alexander wanted him to basically sell this so that McFadden turns his hips, and then he's going to run the out. But he doesn't sell it. In other words, Speaker, watch him kind of roll this out. And if you're going to just run that out that quickly, ball's got to be on the way a lot sooner. But McFadden just did not bite at all, stayed in his back pedal. I like to say stayed in that chair. That nice back pedal chair he's in, came out of that baby and took it.
38 yards on the return. Now again to Meatall. Meatall picks his way down inside the 10 as Toronto instantly back in the red zone, 9 yards.
Okay, let's watch McFadden here. So here's his chair right here. See, that's his chair. And he's just going to backpedal here. And what you want to do is get him to turn his hips and feel like it's going to be a deep route. He just took 2 easy backpedal steps in that chair and then came out of there flying down that sideline.
You're great at drawing chairs. Very impressed. Didn't have a back leg on it, but that's okay.
It's a recliner.
2nd and 1 for the Montreal 6. Arbuckle hands it off. McMahon tripped up, but he's got the first down, and they are knocking on the door.
Well, this is what they had in Deontay McMahon when they decided that Kadeem Carey, 1,000-yard running back, was expendable.
We've hit 3 minutes in Montreal. Toronto on top. Yeah, the McMahon thing blows my mind too. Well, we've gotten used to it. He stands in there behind Arbuckle. They give it to him. McMahon, end zone touchdown, Argos. His first of the season. And Toronto in control late in the half.
Well, it's as important as getting the turnovers as getting the points off them, and the Argos don't waste much time. McMahon with a couple of runs. This one a real deep handoff to allow him to pick his hole. Decided to go right off the edge and hit it full speed against Najee Murray.
Big return to the lineup for McMahon. Haralahu right down the pipe, and the lead is 14 with 2:46 on the clock.
Big set down on the goal line, so you have extra offensive linemen in the game, and they're basically just going to block off to the left side, basic slide, call it slide protection or blocking with the slide look, and just big on the line of scrimmage, and then you need one block from your receiver, and that's Tavares Daniels, and he holds off that defender just long enough. And that was Sean Oakman. Tavares Daniels was messing with.
That's a big boy. 0 rush yards for Montreal in this game. Toronto is almost at their season average. They only average 46. They're at 43. But Montreal, Suits, what do we make of this? They have not attempted a rush yet in this game against the team that allows the most rush yards per game in the Argos defense.
It's a bit of a head scratcher, quite honest. I know they're excited about getting Davis Alexander back, but especially with the play of Sean Thomas Erlington of late. We'll go back to that BC game we showed you. He has almost 100 yards by himself. Some real great second effort runs too in that game. Got his whole team fired up. So it is a bit of a head scratcher And the play action is going to stop mattering to the Argo defense.
Tice on the return. Out a little bit of space. Pushes it out beyond the 45. Lots of time to work here for the Alouettes and Davis Alexander to salvage this opening half.
You know what I mean? Like, they've been running a lot of play action, and the RPO kind of looks, get Alexander outside. And, you know, he had some success in the first quarter doing it, but sooner or later, the Argo defense just says, well, they're not running the ball, so don't even worry about that fake. Play the quarterback, play your receivers, drop in your coverage. McFadden did that very well in the last series.
Tyson at running back this time. And they do give it to him. Pushes it ahead for about 3 yards. Maybe they should have passed.
The armchair play-by-play guy.
I'm frustrated because I was going to say, I bet you $1 million they'll run the ball here.
Yeah.
And they finally do. 3-yard pickup, 2nd and 7. Four receivers to the left this time for Alexander. Looks over the middle, escapes the pocket, has some room to run, and he's going to take off. Wants the first down, and he's got it. A lunge ahead will do the trick. And Davis Alexander bouncing back up.
Well, I was checking him getting up, and it looked a little bit slow, but that's the first time he's really had to be under duress running away from a tackler.
He is heading to the sideline.
Oh, boy. I thought he got up a little slow. That's short yardage.
Caleb Evans.
It's a package they
into
just
the
want.
game. Looks like a package.
It's a first and 10, yeah.
They find Tice with it. Tice will push it ahead, and it works. That's
there you go.
8 yards on the ground there for Travis Tice.
I wonder with after that first run by Davis Alexander, if that was designed for him to come out and just make sure he rested and didn't push it. That was a 1st and 10, and he did get the first down. I thought he might have been just a bit short, but he did get it.
Back into the huddle now for Alexander. Needs 2 more to keep this drive alive. Just under 2 minutes to play. Opening half in Montreal. Tice again. He's got the first down and more. Eventually thrown down by Parrish. He's got him inside the 40.
And in fairness to the play calling of this, and we're talking about just now getting to the run game for Jason Moss, those RPOs are the choice of the quarterback a lot of times. So in Moss's mind, it could be a run that he's calling.
4 straight runs on this drive. Has them down just outside the Toronto 35. They'll do it again. And Tice busts through the line, but goes down on the other side.
That one's different. That's a straight run, which is a called run. But the ones where you see that tailback sort of attacking outside the tackle or just off the tackle on the offensive line, and the quarterback is riding that, taking a look at the defensive end, he can pull it. That's a quarterback's decision.
4 yards on the ground. Empty backfield this time. Alexander feeling some pressure, trying to bounce it to the outside on the run. Near side, Sneed was just waiting there, wide open, and it's a first down for the Alouettes.
Yeah, when he redirected after he caught the ball, he did step out of bounds. That's right below our location, and Sneed does make the nice catch here. A little improvisation from Davis Alexander. Bounces around, gets outside, finds the open man. There he stepped with that right foot. About 2 yards past the marker.
Second catch of the game for Sneed. Sean Thomas Erlington back into the game at running back. And he gets it here. Takes it down on the edge of the red zone with just over 50 seconds on the clock. That's his first carry of the ball game. I'd say this is the best drive that Montreal has had so far in this game.
And they've added their tailbacks into the mix.
Second and 6. Alexander, pocket collapsing again, on the run to his right, stumbles, can't find anybody and has to throw it incomplete. Chatfield was all over him.
Davis Alexander wanted Sean Thomas Erlington out of the backfield. He was covered down, and then the race was on.
28-yard attempt from Maltos. Hit from 37 earlier. This to make it an 11-point game. And he's good. He's been good most of the season. And he gets the job done again. How good does that look?
Yeah, there he is.
Milt Stiegel back. Kate and the guys coming up at the half. Lots to discuss with the Argos in the lead, and then that panel early flight tomorrow.
That's going to be
out to Winnipeg.
That's going to be a game. Calgary
game
in Winnipeg. I'm reading a lot of the social media. The #1 ranked Calgary Stampeders heading to Winnipeg.
Haven't heard that in a few years.
A lot of people are ranking Calgary #1 right now, and they've earned it so far.
Arbuckle, deep shot near sideline. Coxie wide open, and he misses the ball. That would have been 6 for sure, and he just put it over his head.
Oh, he had him. Coxie was in behind coverage. I believe it was Deontay Ruffin. Now, this is a couple of times that there's been no hesitation from Arbuckle to go out to 86. They're looking at this one-on-one matchup, and Coxie he was like, gotta be kidding. Can't get more open than that. Slants, little hooks, slants, and then the go route, and it was there.
Arbuckle just missed him. 2nd and 10 now from the Toronto 40. Arbuckle in trouble, and he'll be taken down. Adeyemi Berglund gets there, his 4th sack of the season.
Well, we've shown you this blitz from the Montreal defense a few times. That's Wesley Sutton coming here. Adeyemi Berglund's coming on the other side. The offensive line is in a bit of a bind. They see the halfback again, and he's stepping up in the line, but this time he's just covering. He didn't go on the blitz. He's just covering a guy close and me tall. So it's a bit tricky for the offensive line to be able to figure out, is it Sutton again on the blitz, and we should slide to the left, or should we just slide normally to the right and take care of the defensive end and Adeyemi Berglund, and they guess wrong.
Team leading 4th quarterback sack of the year for Adeyemi Berglund. And as the clock ticks down, Arbuckle will just take a knee in Toronto. Maybe not happy with that miss to Coxie, but they have to be happy with an 18-7 lead right now.
Oh, absolutely. All the talk about Davis Alexander, and it's been Arbuckle with a 7-minute drive in the first quarter, a 5-minute drive, 10 plays and 70 yards in the second quarter. Points off of turnovers from the interception from McFadden, and Coxie's getting it done on that left side.
3 catches in the first half for Coxie. 1 of them for a touchdown. Could have been a monstrous half. Welcome back to Montreal. The Argos lead 18-7. Starting quarterback for Montreal, Davis Alexander, stands by just a few moments ago, and he chatted with Matthew Shinetti.
Davis, how important was it to get the run game going before the end of the half?
Yeah, I mean, we've had some RPOs. I've been pulling it every time. We got to get our run game involved, got to get our big boys involved, and run the ball well.
We're all looking at you when you're running and you're going down and you're coming. How are you feeling?
I feel pretty good. I mean, I don't think it's hindering me much. I'm able to get away if I need to. I don't think they've gotten to me much, so yeah.
Appreciate this. Thank you.
All right, so he says he's feeling okay, and he says they got to keep running the ball.
Not hampering him much. Yeah, that 35 yards rushing you saw for Montreal on the stat sheet was all in the final drive of the first half. But that was Davis Alexander again telling us that the RPO play is potentially a running play if you give it to your back and not pull it. He said, I got to start doing that a little more.
16 consecutive passes to start the football game for Jason Moss and the Alouettes offense. Montreal will have the ball to start. This is the second of 3 meetings. If Toronto can finish the job here, it would be a split so far. They meet again in September, and that would decide the season series. Letcher and Tice wait to return the opening kick of the second half. Thank you for joining us on Thursday Night Football. Second half underway. Tice takes it just inside the 20, back to the 30, a little bit further before he stopped on the far side of the field. Johnson in on the tackle.
Well, let's take a look at Davis Alexander's first half. He got outside with the RPO play action. He was pulling it, quick throws here. Looked like the hamstring was doing just fine, especially when you roll to your left and have to twist your torso around to get that ball out. That one nice deeper throw, intermediate area to Austin Mack. There's him scrambling. I wasn't convinced that he's good with the hamstring. It was more of a, yeah, it's fine, it's not hampering me.
Toronto, their only win of the year. It's the only time they led it to half so far this season. Montreal is 0-1 when trailing at the half, and they'll start the half with an incompletion.
Let's go, D!
Yeah, low snap just kind of threw all of the timing and still should have been caught.
Tyler Sneed, just 2 catches on 2 targets in the first half. Guilty of the drop there. So second and 10 from the Montreal 33. Alexander down the middle, and that is in behind Sneed as he was looking for him once again, working in front of Mark Milton in that secondary for Toronto.
Yeah, in front of him, but Wynton McManus had dropped underneath that throw. And I think that was a deliberate incompletion, or it was going the other way. Quietly making a difference here in this one tonight in the first half to get their leader back in Wynton McManus.
McManus with a tackle in his return in the first half. Zima, as the wind picks up a bit here in Montreal. Low driving kick. Janarian Grant watches it bounce out of bounds just outside the Toronto 20.
Here's Nick Arbuckle's first half. I thought it was an excellent first half for Arbuckle, and understanding what Montreal was trying to do defensively. Did get off and run a couple of times, but you know, the timing and getting the second quarter and getting Mac Mahon involved and Coxie, and had they hit the deep one, you know, it's a 3-score game. Just missed with Coxie late in the half, wide open down the field, and just missed him. I love how Coxie in the interview with Matthew on the sideline said, yeah, I got to dig a little bit more. Not putting it on his quarterback, just saying, I got to dig a little bit more for that one for Arbuckle.
Montreal as a team allowing just 22 points per game so far this year. That's the second best in the league. They have 18 hung on them in the first half. Ungerer hauls Throws it in. That's his second catch of the evening.
Well, just really like the choices here and you know, the innovation from Ryan Dinwiddie. He's got a flat receiver and one on a deep out that you'll see to the right of your screen as it develops. And you're moving the launch point around. Little fake to the underneath. That holds Eddie Berglund. Now you see the flat route in McMahon. And he's got a choice between the two, so he takes the deeper one.
Went for 19 yards. Now they'll clear things out for Arbuckle. Finds his running back. McMahon turns, takes a look, finds a little bit of space, and is tripped up just outside the 50. It was Oakman who got over there and got a hand on him.
This is a guy that we haven't mentioned all game long in Tyrese Beverette, and I don't remember doing an Alouettes game where we hadn't talked about him at length in the first half because he's making plays and around the ball. I don't think it's because he's not playing well. It's just that right now Arbuckle is keeping them guessing.
He's got 4 tackles so far tonight. Had an interception in week 1 against the Argos. Arbuckle, far side. Mital around one man. And he's got a first down and takes the ball onto Toronto's side of the field.
Yeah, this is basically where Mital here, watch him go outside. Now, how does Beverette get involved there other than to hustle and try and get involved to help get him out of bounds? And there he is, showing up on your screen. I mean, he's still going sideline to sideline, but Arbuckle's keeping it away from those linebackers.
The work from the Montreal 53. Mital hangs on to it, got popped by Dequoy, but he hangs on to it. That's his 7th catch of the game.
Najee Murray was coming on a blitz. He got picked up in big. That's Murray to the left corner of your screen. He goes on a blitz, so Mital just says, I've got the safety covering me. He's got a long way to go coming from the deep middle. And I should be open for this hot route. He is. And the block by McMahon on Murray is a wow block.
Got 4 on the play. They'll need 6 more. Arbuckle near sideline, and he drops it in there neatly for Coxie, and the Argos march on.
Let's go one more time back to that block. It's actually not McMahon, but Laybourne right here. He's going to see the blitz is coming. And it's coming from Najee Murray. Watch him pick him up. Well, you're going to lose him to the right of your screen, but he keeps driving. You'll see him in a second. And there he goes, right past the bottom of your screen. Still blocking. That was about a 30-yard block.
Rookie out of Marshall remains in at running back, and they'll give it to him. Pushes it up the middle. Short gain on first down, but second and manageable for Toronto.
Kalen Laybourne is rotating in and getting a chance to carry the football a little bit here too. Real nice cut into the A-gap between the center and the guard. That would be strong A, with the strong side of the field between center and guard.
Arbuckle's 5 for 5 on this drive, 48 yards, 2nd and 6 from the Alouettes 32. Arbuckle, far side, and that is hauled in. Mital again, 8th of the game. Have yourself a night.
Combination routes on the outside. Look at the strength when you try to jam them. That was Antoine Dequoy coming up to try and jam him. He thought it was offensive pass interference. Kind of got bulldozed there, and it looks like it's going to be challenged from Jason Moss. He signaled immediately. OPI.
See him say OPI, yeah. So So that's what they'll be looking at, an offensive pass interference.
Montreal is challenging the previous play for OPI by number 11 on 24. Montréal demande une révision pour une interférence offensive. Le jeu va être révisé. The play will be reviewed by the replay center.
There's a look at it. Replay center goes to work.
Here's Mital. There's Antoine Dequoy. Is it enough? Definitely past 5 yards, but is it enough? Or just a collision?
Upon review by the replay center, there was no infraction for offensive pass interference. Montreal will be charged a timeout. They're now out of timeout and out of challenge. Après révision, il n'y avait pas d'infraction pour une interférence offensive. Montréal perd un temps d'arrêt et ne peut plus aller en demande de révision.
And the ruling here is that Dequoy was trying to cut off the route. They collided. It wasn't offensive pass interference. He was just running his route.
1st and 10. Arbuckle, wide open, end zone, touchdown, Toronto. Unger's got it. And the Argos strike again.
At halftime, Davis Sanchez, the corner and defensive back in the group, was talking about the slant and how to get to a spot when you're running the slant, and it's a race between DB and receiver. Coxie won the race in the first half. That was the fake the slant and go deep route, which is the progression from running slants in the first half.
Aralahu smooths it through. And the Toronto Argonauts in full control, leading 25-7 on the road.
So as zero coverage, as David's mentioned, no help in the middle, so it's one-on-one, and you got to race to the spot. Receiver and DB on a slant route. There is the spot. Here's the route, and this time Unger says, "Oh, I'm not running to the spot." Ento thought it was slant, jumped it. Unger went deep.
An 8-play drive that went 84 yards. Arbuckle goes 7 of 7 on the drive for 80 yards. And his second passing touchdown of the game. Toronto's 3 for 3 in the red zone so far tonight. Letcher on the return, jammed up, slammed down by Deadrick Henson.
Well, I would suggest right now that the Alouettes are reeling a little bit. I mean, you're taking a look at a team heavily favored, getting their starting quarterback back in the lineup, and Davis Alexander, got Austin Mack back in the lineup, and really on all three phases been the second best team here tonight.
Oh, we would have had it.
But what
But they were in zero, so we kind of
there's Arbuckle talking about zero coverage. No help. Corner has to fight for that slant route. Unger said, yeah. Coxie set it up on the other side against Ruffin. And then that was Unger up against Ento. Either way, though, both teams. I don't know, how surprised are you, partner?
I'm stunned.
Yeah.
I'm stunned by this. The Argos, I mean, they desperately needed this ball game. Both teams coming in off a bye. Toronto had won 8 in a row off of a bye, and they look like the team that took better advantage of it. Lanier left the field after making that last tackle. 2nd and 8. Alexander hammered as he throws. Oh, and a big hit at the other end of the play as well as Darius Bratton upends Cole Speaker.
That is a nice hit on the outside. You know, I I'm not completely surprised that Montreal has a little rust with their starter after missing 3 weeks of action with the hamstring injury. That's a big hit. I am quite surprised with the defense. But again, full credit to Ryan Dinwiddie in this game plan for Nick Arbuckle tonight. It's been outstanding.
Argo's defense allowing almost 33 points per game. 8th in the league. Only Edmonton worse. Oh, that one hops in. Picked up and hammered away. Janarian Grant takes it at the 25. And Grant into a pile just outside the 30. And he is driven back. What a night so far for Nick Arbuckle. 23 of 28, 198 yards. 2 majors. Toronto obviously missing Ryan Hunter tonight. More changes up front on the offensive line as well. Let's send it down to Matthew Shinetti.
Yeah, Dustin. Aneem Dankwa, who was in for Ryan Hunter originally, is out with a leg injury, so John Boss is now in at right tackle. And this has been an issue for the Argos all week coming off of the bye, because the first day back from the bye, Ryan Hunter was riding a scooter in downtown Toronto, turned a corner and got hit by a car. Apparently, the driver didn't see Ryan Hunter. I find that very hard to believe. But this is just another situation the Argos have had to deal with. A lot of injuries throughout the year, a lot of injuries to key leaders on this offense, but particularly with Ryan Hunter, he's the most outstanding offensive lineman, and he's moved around this line quite a bit, so it is a big loss, but the Argos seem to be adjusting to it.
John Boss, 3rd-round pick out of the University of Calgary in the 2024 draft. In there at right tackle. 4 receivers, wide side right for Arbuckle. That's where he's going to roll. That's where he throws. Virgin Mayala, who's not been targeted yet tonight, can't get to that one.
Well, I'm not surprised that, you know, Aneem Dankwa has had some issues in the first half. I mean, a couple of times, took a look at Isaac Adeyemi Berglund that beat him inside a few times, and you know, you don't know the blocking scheme that's called in the huddle, but it looked like he was struggling, and now that's from Matthew that he's been injured, and now it's John Boss. So 25 points on the board though offensively.
Arbuckle in trouble, and he just tosses it towards his running back. But that will bring up 3rd down, and Montreal's defense finally causing some issues for Arbuckle and the Argos.
This was basically a designed screen pass, so there's going to be pressure because they're going to allow pressure. And Darnell Sankey sniffs this out. He realizes they're trying to set up a screen here. They're just letting our defensive line go free, set up the screen. I would make it difficult for Arbuckle to make that decision and make that throw. Darnell Sankey made the play.
Haggerty awaits the snap. Letcher awaits the kick. It's a big one. Letcher has the back pedal, takes it inside the 20. Can he find a seam? A burst on the far side of the field. Brings the crowd to its feet, and he's eventually forced out around the 50. And what has ended up being an absolutely beautiful evening in Montreal. Just one shot back. Long way to go at that major. Long way to go here as well, but the Argos are in the driver's seat. Alexander, far side of the field, has his fullback, Dallaire. It's his 6th catch of the season.
You know, I don't think the running game for Montreal should be abandoned just yet. There's still over a quarter to play. And I wonder how much they miss Tyson Philpott in the lineup, a guy who's a deep threat. And when he's not getting the ball, but he's running those deep routes, it opens up the underneath stuff for the rest of the receiving corps.
Undoubtedly miss him a lot. 3 touchdowns on the year already, almost 300 yards as well. It worked from the 50. Quickly this time to Letcher. And that's his first catch of the game. Takes him down to the 45, 5-yard pickup.
Well, it's almost must score here to get back, try to crawl back in this game, although they know how quickly it can turn when you think back to that BC game. Montreal had pretty much control of that one from start to finish and then lost in the final few seconds.
Alexander wanting to throw again. And he duns one in there to Austin Mack.
Yeah, Austin Mack got again familiar with Winton McManus. You know, Winton McManus, when we talk about leadership quite often and don't really get into it, but here's an analogy that might help. You know, when you're kids and you've got kids and you know what it's like, and it's a thunderstorm, lightning outside, and your kids are looking straight at dad to see if he's worried.
And I am.
No, you're supposed to not be worried.
Sorry.
Okay, so you're not worried, so they're calm. That's what happens when you get your leader back. Sometimes it's going sideways and everybody's looking at that guy going, are you worried? And if he doesn't look worried, you're okay.
Meanwhile, the Nielsen family's hiding in the basement. Alexander rolls to his left, dumps it off. Thomas Erlington's got it. And that's going to be another first down as Montreal puts together a drive late in the third quarter.
And Winton McManus getting up a little late, but he makes the tackle on that. Must have hurt us. Dad saying, not only am I going to be the rock here, so if anything goes sideways, he overran it a little bit, then cut back and was the first to get in on the tackle, and then he's been working on a knee too, I believe.
And I think he's just taken a knee. Now he's bounced back up, but he is walking off, now jogging off. Huge part of this defense. How about the 4 pick sixes since 2022? Knockdown, sacks, tackles for a loss. He does it all for this defense.
See that picture of him? If he looks like that in the lightning storm, don't worry. We'll settle in, watch a little TV, and don't worry about it.
He'll watch for now. We'll see how close of a look the training staff takes at him.
He waved the training staff off.
He's pacing the sideline right now.
He has to go for 3 plays now, but he waved him off halfway on. Said, "No, I'm good. Don't worry about it."
Good luck getting a look at him right now. Not going to allow it. Alouettes will work from the Argo 30. On the ground, Thomas Erlington, a nice cut down the hole, and an excellent pickup on first down.
D'Arcangelo, of course, will come in for Winton McManus. He has to sit out for 3 plays, and let's take a look at number 35 in the middle of your screen. It slides to the hole. A little bit of hesitation in the hole, and he gets blocked.
Extra protection brought in this time. Alexander dumps it off, and that will be a first down as he found Rambo, who was involved heavily early in the game, but it has been quiet since.
Now I like this 2-play combination from Jason Moss to run to Thomas Erlington on the first down. You saw D'Arcangelo jump and be hesitant in the hole. This time they fake it up the middle. D'Arcangelo jumps in the hole, and they dump it off inside of Rambo.
Second trip to the red zone tonight for the Alouettes. Had to settle for a field goal on their first visit.
I think that was enough plays for McManus. He went back out, wanted to be back in there, and was told that was only 2.
Sneaky boy. They stopped him with a smile on his face there. Worth a try.
Yeah, why not?
Worth a try. 2 options, wide side right. They'll hand it off. And Sean Thomas Erlington goes nowhere. Cam Judge there to close the door.
Yeah, nice scrape by Cam Judge, who came into this game leading the Argos defense in tackles. And an athlete that if you needed to spy a quarterback, like even a Davis Alexander or a Trey Ford in Edmonton, you ask Cameron Judge to do it.
29 tackles coming into the game. Has 3 already here. 2nd and 9, a big second down for Montreal. Alexander gets it away. Thomas Erlington bounces off one tackle, trying to push it ahead, but he'll be stopped at the 10. Needed the 6.
Yeah, I don't think Jason Moss is going to put the field goal team out there. They're huddled around him looking for the signal, but he's just calling another play.
3rd and 4. They went for it on 3rd and 3 in the first half and picked it up.
You get this, it's a 2-possession game if you kick the field goal. Lots of football to be played left.
No field goal here. Alexander. End zone shot to the corner. Got it. Touchdown. Alouettes. Cole Speaker. That'll work.
Gutsy call by the coach, pays off with an absolute beautiful throw from Davis Alexander. That accuracy that we were used to in the 3-0 start, it's back. He teardrops this one over the defenders, right in the corner of the end zone to Speaker. That's why you let him win at NHL video games.
I think it was Sneed that he beat. Okay. But it looks like he probably beat Speaker as well. And the Alouettes at the end of the 3rd quarter have life. 9-play, 60-yard drive that took just under 6 minutes and ends where it had to for a touchdown. 2nd of the year for Speaker. Welcome back to Montreal, where the Alouettes pretty much had to have a touchdown there. They now trail by 11, and a long way to go in this football game here to kick off another week of CFL action on Thursday night football. He said field goal, but they got the touchdown. What do you think?
Well, I think it's a gutsy call by Jason Moss, and it worked out for him for sure. I still probably would have kicked the field goal. I know there's a lot of coaches saying sometimes you got to be aggressive, believe in your team, and this time it wasn't real fancy. It was a straight go route, and because there's no safety and Sluka in the middle, Bratton is going to backpedal inside, and all that Speaker does is separate. He just widens his route on a straight go route enough so that Davis Alexander can lead him to the back of the end zone, and that was an excellent throw.
Alexander on that drive, 7 of 7, 52 yards, and the touchdown, his first of the night. Janarian Grant stopped immediately. Nowhere to go on that kick return, and we'll see if the Alouettes defense can get the ball back in a timely fashion here.
Yeah, it can turn in a hurry, can't it? We've got a lot of football to be played here in the 4th quarter. So the mission is long from accomplished for Arbuckle in this offense for the Argos.
Arbuckle 23 of 30, 198 yards, 2 touchdowns, has looked after the football so far. Start on their own 35 to the Argos. And they'll hand it off. Far side, Laybourne. What a burst. Flag at the end of the run. Kalen Laybourne, though, taking off for 18.
Holding at the corner of the line of scrimmage, I believe.
5. Holding. Retenu. Toronto. 52.
gets that one, but Eddie Berglund got up kind of with his hands in the air. Usually you look at the defender who's trying to get the attention of the official, see who got caught for the holding.
So instead, it's a 1st and 20 from the Toronto 25. Arbuckle looks to his right, now his left, throws in that direction, and it's incomplete. Not sure if that was deflected at the line of scrimmage or not, but nobody really had a crack at it.
Yeah, it looked like Tavares Daniels just kind of stumbled out of his break a little bit, but the pocket was collapsing around Arbuckle on that throw.
Arbuckle started this half 7 of 7, but now 3 straight incompletions. Needs a huge chunk here, or they'll be kicking it back to Montreal with the momentum. 4 receivers wide right. Arbuckle finds the pocket near side to nobody. Unger was over there, but never had a crack at it. 3rd and 20, and they'll be kicking it away.
Arbuckle had an opportunity. He had a few receivers that were trying to go through the scramble drills, but like the Alouettes dropped 9, and he just didn't want to risk it, which is probably a good decision.
Back to Haggerty here. His last 2 punts, 68 and 61 yards. Fletcher paces at his 35. Whistles
whistled down
before the kick.
Timeout, temps d'arrêt, Toronto.
Timeout called by Dinwiddie and his Argos.
Were they missing a guy?
I was going to say, is this a personnel issue on their side? Looks like it, doesn't it?
Yeah, better to burn a timeout than to have one man short. And these returners have been held in check tonight so far. One semi-good return from Letcher.
They love an even better one now. Low driving kick. Going to bounce at the 42. Letcher grabs it. Flag as he takes it back just outside the 40. That'll definitely be no yards.
No yards. Non-respect de l'unité. Toronto, numéro 36, number 36, 15 verts.
I probably shouldn't admit this, but a little confession here. I think that song's extremely catchy. It's really catchy.
Especially when you're cleaning stuff.
Yeah, I dance the same way when I'm cleaning the house. Alexander near sideline. And that one intercepted, but did he get his feet in? He didn't. McFadden came down out of bounds. Alexander dodges a bullet.
Take a look. He's not arguing much about it. He has to go up and high point it. And do the feet come to? Yeah, clearly out. Been number 2 on the night.
Oh, that would have been big. Trying to find Sneed. McFadden, other ideas.
What a game for McFadden.
2nd and 10 from the 51. Alexander, deep drop. Now on the run. Can he find some space? The answer is no. And he is hammered back by Aaron Casey.
Davis Alexander was looking to the side of McFadden. He did have a target over there, but he just didn't want to pull the trigger. That's a couple of times now. Watch how hard he's looking to his left. McFadden's playing corner on the left side of the defense for the Argos there. See him looking hard over there? Hard to the left, hard to the left. No, you know what? I'm not going to take a chance. And there's the big hit at the end of it.
Here's a good look at it here.
Now he is a running back in this case, or treated as one.
And that kick flies out of bounds around the 10-yard line. No return opportunity for Janarian Grant. Actually going to mark it out way up at the 16.
Well, you know, I think Jason Moss is wondering about a roughing the passer hit here.
Legal punt out of bounds. Toronto number 29.
Or unnecessary roughness.
Côté de dégagement directement à l'extérieur. Pénalité de 10 verges. Premier essai.
But once the quarterback crosses the line of scrimmage with the ball tucked like that, he is treated as a running back at that point. So if you thought that was excessive, if it was a running back, then you're on Jason Moss's side of the argument.
Ball is placed at the Toronto 26. And a chance with a drive here for Arbuckle. Maybe put the final dagger in these Alouettes at home. Arbuckle dumps it off. Incomplete. Got rid of it just in time, but McMahon couldn't get a mitt on it. Oakman with a limp as he heads to the sideline.
Marc-Antoine Duclaw makes a play here. He's on the outside the hash mark, and he's going to roll right to the middle. This is exactly where Arbuckle wants to go, to that backside seam. And here comes 24, the safety. See how he opens up and runs right to it? That eliminates that deep target for Arbuckle.
5 consecutive incompletions for Arbuckle. Still with an 11-point cushion. Okay. Now he's in trouble and he's taken down. Sankey and Canton Arku both get there.
Sankey's right here. They're going to bring Murray. This is an all-out blitz, and the DBs are playing off. So no real hot route for Arbuckle. In fact, he can't see past that line of defenders. Canton Arku gets there first, but Sankey hit that A-gap pretty hard.
Excellent field position looming here with any type of return. Big low driving kick. How about that? Letcher takes it just inside the 35, picks his way back up the field, bounces off one tackler, still going, and all the way back up to midfield. That is an excellent effort returned after a 59-yard kick. Arbuckle taken down. Alouettes cranking it up. CFL on TSN returns tomorrow with Friday Night Football, and what a game this is. Stampeders taking on the Blue Bombers in Winnipeg. Catch all the action, 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific. Milt and the panel in the house in Winnipeg tomorrow night. That should be an incredible evening at Princess Auto Stadium. Midfield, Alexander starts it on the run. He's in trouble, gets it away, and it's caught on the near side. Taken ahead. Looks like a first down for the second time. He goes to Jacob Mason.
Andrew Chatfield thought he had himself a sack. He was on his horse trying to run down Davis Alexander. I mean, he gets outside. Look at 94, just hustling. Big dive there. Not quite. Not number 6. Not yet.
Third time in this game that Alexander has found a fullback. The work from the Toronto 41. Down 11. Trying to set something up. It might work for Speaker, and he's got some room. Speaker down to the 10. Staying on his feet, still going, and they'll stop him inside the 5. The Alouettes are in business.
Carson Moss with a double screen. There goes Sean Thomas Erlington out of the backfield to set it up like it looks like it's going to the right. Fullback going to the right. That's where Davis Alexander turns first. Then he flips his hip. And what a catch by Cole Speaker. I mean, he had to one-hand that almost as he's trying to find his blocking that's coming out there. But here, watch this. Just stab it. He could get both hands on it, but that was quite a catch in the middle and then did the heavy lifting after.
First and goal from the Toronto 3. Alexander hands it off. Spin move to the end zone. Touchdown, Alouettes. Sean Thomas Erlington. And Montreal finds themselves back in this one.
And they'll go for 2. This fourth quarter play calling's been outstanding, partly because they have given it to the tailback in that RPO look more than they did in the first half in a big way. That keeps the defense off balance, and it paid off there with that run.
They'll look to make it a 3-point contest. First time going for 2 this season. Alexander looks to his right, throws it over the middle, up for grabs, broken up. Darius Bratton working against Mack. And the lead remains 5 in favor of the visitors from Toronto. Sean Thomas Erlington, second rushing touchdown of the season.
Nice misdirection on this play. Watch how the back movement this way pulls the middle linebacker in Wynton McManus, and then the offensive linemen are coming out in the opposite direction for Cole Speaker and this slot back screen to the left side. So here comes the big offensive lineman out in front, and maybe the key block by Pierre-Olivier Lestage, who had a little bit of issue in the BC game afterwards. And a penalty, making up for that.
Grant, who's been contained so far tonight, tries to pick his way up the middle, and he'll get it just beyond the 35. 3 consecutive 2-and-outs here for the Argonauts has allowed Montreal to get right back in this game with still over 8 minutes remaining.
I know it's easy to say from way up here in the broadcast booth, but there was a flat route out here that is wide open on the 2-point convert. I don't blame for a second Davis Alexander going to Austin Mack, but look at this. I mean, we're talking nobody.
Quick drive, though, just 89 seconds, 3 plays, 54 yards. Arbuckle, far side. Mital, 9th catch of the game. Wow. First down, Argos.
They are really leaning on him in the last couple of games. And that's a big play in a lot of ways. I mean, this has been 3 2-and-outs, and all the momentum now with the Alouettes now just down by 1 possession, and the Argos need a few first downs at least to give their defense a rest.
8 catches on 104 yards for Mital in their last game. He's got 63 yards tonight. McMahon trying to kick it outside, not going to work. Picks up about 2 yards on that carry. And he is laboring, unable to get up immediately. We've seen his backup, Kalen Laybourne, in the game a couple of times tonight. Toronto started this game pretty effectively on the ground.
Well, I think their play calling for 3 quarters has been outstanding from Ryan Dinwiddie, and executed well by Nick Arbuckle and sort of taking what the Alouettes have been giving them defensively. A lot of show blitz early, and then they went with some secondary pressures and things like that that were picked up by Arbuckle. Maybe that last hit at the bottom of the pile from Oakman.
He remains down. They had, we talked about it coming in, averaging about 46 yards per game on the ground, and they started so well. They sit just at 49 now. Montreal actually has more rushing yards than Toronto does, and Montreal started the game with 16 consecutive pass attempts. So neither team really able to generate anything of significance on the ground attack just yet.
Right, but coaches go away from it for some reason at times when they need it most, you know, and I've seen it many times happen where they sort of get in the flow. But again, we should be clear on the RPO type of play. To a coach and a play caller, an RPO is an option to run. And two of the three options are for the quarterback to run or the tailback to run. Both of those are running plays. So, you know, you can call the RPO, and if the quarterback keeps pulling it and looking down the field to throw it, well, it's out of your hands by that point.
Claiborne in the game at running back for Toronto. Montreal crowd getting behind this defense. Arbuckle needs 8. He looks for a lot more. Daniels, no! Incomplete, working against Kennedy. And the defense comes out on top.
Took a shot, wanted to see where Marc-Antoine Dequoy was lined up. He stayed in the middle. That little look from Arbuckle froze Dequoy, so he couldn't get out there to help. That's why Arbuckle liked the odds with Daniels in behind Robert Kennedy there just by a step, but he recovered.
Tice stands back to return this. We heard Letcher was dealing with something on the sideline. So Tyson's there now, waits at the 10 to return a punt. Usually Letcher's job. Tice does return kicks. This is a bobble, and it's up for grabs. Oh my goodness! And the Alouettes survive the ultimate scare with 6.5 to go in this game. Nate Beauchemin saves the backside of Travis Tice.
So you think it's easy to catch a punt with 12 guys hustling down to get you? It's not. If you don't do it all the time, you don't get out of those kicks, it's very, very difficult. And Tice just bobbles it around, takes his eyes off the ball for a second. Very lucky.
Maybe it's those fireworks in the distance. They're distracting me. They're being set off by Meatall fantasy owners tonight with 9 catches.
That was Letcher holding that arm.
Well, started on the ground, right up the middle. Tice this time, he hangs on, and he churns out a few hard yards here. There's Letcher. Do not expect him to be coming back to return anything.
Oh, looks like he's got a cast on his right wrist. D'Arcangelo's in for Wynn McManus. Or is McManus?
I think McManus is in there as well. Yeah, yep. McManus is still in there. 2nd and 4. Tice again. And he's got a hole and a first down. Takes it out beyond the 30. 5.5 to play.
Calendar, Lestage again. There they are on that left side. And how many times have you heard a coach say, don't worry about the play that just happened. Once it's done, get to the next one. A bobbled snap on a kick, rescued by his teammates, and now 2 big runs for first down.
Tice averaging over 6 yards per carry in this ball game. Stands in to the left of Davis Alexander. Alexander this time keeps it himself. Near side Speaker. And that will not be positive yardage. Back to the line of scrimmage. I think maybe a yard they might give him.
Davis Alexander wanted the deeper out, sort of shallow curl or corner route. But Benji Franklin was in the area. Could still kick it here if you don't get 9.
I think so, yep.
Lots of time to go to get another possession or 2.
They'll look for the 9. Right here, 3 out to the left for Alexander. That's where he goes. He's got Austin Mack for a first down. Tackle made by Mark Milton, but not before Mack had picked up the yards needed.
Yeah, this is a dilemma for the Argos defensively. You got a 5-point lead. There's so much time left to play. You don't want to give up anything in behind you. So Mark Milton wants to give Mack some room, but you also can't give him 15 yards of crack.
The co-defensive coordinators looking on. Davis Alexander with 5-man pressure. He's going to look for a deep shot down the field. Incomplete. Tried to find Rambo. The crowd here wanted a PI flag, but I don't think they were remotely close to getting that one.
No, but you can hope. There can be wishful
You can cheer for it.
You can cheer for it, sure. Yeah, no, this is Mark Milton who's dropping back down the inside of the hash mark, opens up to it, and then Rambo just kind of, he sees that that ball is basically not catchable, kind of reaches and falls down.
Tried to draw one.
Yep.
Didn't work. 2nd and 10 from the Alouette 48. Argos send 4. And a great timing throw as it's gunned in there to Sneed. First down, Montreal again.
Well, from the comeback perspective for Davis Alexander, maybe his best throw of the night. Coverage in play, 2nd and long, time running out, first down Montreal.
Thursday night football, nail biter. Inside 3 minutes. Well, we are just getting going on week 7. Big one tomorrow night in Winnipeg. Both these games in the West are huge this week. Panel will be in the house on Friday in Winnipeg. Riders taking on the BC Lions and Nathan Rourke, and then a rematch from last week, Hamilton and Ottawa, to wrap things up. Alexander has it. Man, wide open, down the field. He's got Speaker again. Stripped, taken away. What is happening down in the end zone? Was it a touchdown or not?
San Toronto ball.
Wow. We got to get a look at this.
Well, first of all, Davis Alexander pulls it. Let's take a look now. This is Speaker, open field. Is it out before he crossed the plane? I think it is.
Definitely. Sluka, what a play.
Oh, yeah, that's out well before he crossed the goal line and doesn't regain possession. Now, if McFadden knocks it out with his hand, it is Montreal ball. He doesn't. He recovers it. That ball is out. It's a fumble. McFadden down to pick it up.
What a turn of events.
And heads up by a guy who's had an outstanding game.
Fun review by the replay center. The ball carrier fumbled the ball before he reached the goal line. The ball was recovered by Toronto in goal. Toronto first down at the 30-yard line.
Possible game saver from Sluka.
He has made some big plays in the start of this football season.
Arbuckle gets it back again. Running it here. Nowhere to go. Line of scrimmage.
Still time for Montreal. Let's go back to Sluka, though, and show you how much hustle can pay off. Watch Sluka. First of all, he's calling the defense, making sure they got the check. He's going to slide to his right and then redirect, get after it, not give up on the play when Speaker is wide open. Hustle over, strip the football, his teammate recovers it. That's a hustle play, start to finish.
I'm not sure you'll see many defensive plays that impressive the rest of the season. Outstanding stuff. Big second down. Arbuckle in trouble and they get to him again. The ball pops
inside pass rush by Oakman. Not sure if he got the strip. Number 2.
Incredible. Look at that line just get hammered back. And yada, yada, yada. The Alouettes have the ball again inside the 30, looking to take the lead with just over 2 minutes left. Can they finish the job this time? Alexander, a little bit of confusion, still dumps it off. Rambo's got it, takes it down just outside the 10. Looks like a first down, Montreal.
Right after the play, Davis Alexander and Thomas Erlington talked that one out all the way back to the huddle because one of them went the wrong direction on the play action. Didn't matter. They had that push to the flat wide open anyway, but you see Alexander, well, nobody there to fake it to, but we'll just continue on.
Just 2 minutes remaining in this one. Alouettes knocking on the door, looking for the lead. Alexander keeps it again on the run. He's going to do it himself. Touchdown! Alouettes! Davis Alexander!
He did it himself, but he got the hamstring again.
He was reaching for the hammy, wasn't he?
Yeah, and he asked his teammates not to jump up or celebrate with him. They're going to go for 2. I'm not sure if he can finish it.
A good news, bad news situation for the Alouettes.
This time the play fake was right where it needed to be, and it pulled Derek Parrish right over to Thomas Erlington, and there he grabs that hamstring one more time.
Tough to see. They'll go for 2. He's going to try to stay in. He's waving them off.
Yeah. Because if the trainers get out there, he has to leave.
MBT warming up on the sideline. And Montreal leading by 1. They'd like to be leading by 3. Alexander going to try to tough it out. John Thomas Erlington, couple steps up to his right. Alexander throwing, oh, it's dropped! Oh no, Speaker, he's been so good tonight. But that one, a drop. Alexander to the turf as well.
Keep that hamstring loose. On the outside, it's Cole Speaker. Guy that got stripped. Throw got through and just distracted by Winton McManus. There's the alibi for 17, but should have had it.
He has caught 9 balls for 130 yards and a touchdown tonight, and he drops that one.
It was right at the end of the run that Alexander grabbed the hamstring. Right there. It was like that cut that he went inside, tweaked it again. He was okay here, and then right there, see how his left ankle, and then grabbed the left ham. And this is an injury that's been nagging. It's been nagging for a long time.
Since the spring, right?
Yes. That's good news that he's kind of loosening it up and running off. But there is time for Nick Arbuckle.
Oh, yeah.
And this Argo offense. You go back to their last game against BC, and the Lions came back and won on a walk-off field goal by Sean White. The final catch by Javon Catoy was with 3 seconds left when the ball was snapped, and they still had time to kick a walk-off field goal winner. Toronto has a chance and lots of time to try and make it back-to-back games.
Pretty eventful final 3 minutes thus far. 1:46 to go. Grant, quiet tonight. Takes it just outside the 10. Can they find some space for him? No, not gonna happen. Richards barrels over him. And the crowd in Montreal to their feet on that tackle. Who's long on the season. I got it at 50. In fact, he's 3 for 3 from beyond 50.
That means that Arbuckle's got to get to the 43.
Down by as many as 14. Arbuckle. Far side, held on to. Great catch. That'll silence the crowd as Brissett hauls it in.
Argos still have a timeout.
Correction, they were down by 18 in this ball game, Montreal. Now they lead by 1. Arbuckle gets it away again. That one protected by Brissett. Now bring up second down. Arauahu warms and waits on the sideline.
McMahon's back in.
3 options to the right for Arbuckle. That's where he throws, and he's got Mittal again. Give him 10 catches in the game. None bigger than this one.
And the throw from Arbuckle with the defender all over him. I mean, Andy Berglund's coming off the edge. He's getting hit by Darnell Sankey and gets that out there just in time to Mittal.
Creeping towards field goal range are the Argos on the road. Just 1 win on the season so far. Arbuckle gets it away, far side. Coatsy trying to escape, but he's driven back, hanging on to the ball, and will eventually try to push it out of bounds.
It'll be interesting where they mark this. His forward progress, I thought, was right at the center field stripe.
McMahon is down on the field once again. Tying his shoe, I think, this time. Yes, he's okay.
They didn't give him the full forward progress. That's back a yard before the center stripe. Need about 15 more. The claws down.
They're going to bring everybody. Arbuckle pressure in his face. Hit as he throws. It's up for grabs. Intercepted. And Toe takes it away. And Montreal's defense does it again. A dagger from the Alouettes. And they take it away.
Marc-Antoine Dequoy had a quiet start by his standards to the CFL season, but he makes a big play coming off the edge to make sure that Arbuckle can't step into this throw because he has a deep receiver here, but he gets hammered as he lets it go.
Challenging the previous play for roughing the passer. The play will be reviewed.
Oh, boy.
And let's take a look at, was it too much from Antoine Dequoy? Here he is off the edge. Is it up high? Did he get him in the chin?
I don't know. I think he might have got him almost under the arm where he was throwing it. And if you're Toronto, you might as well challenge this.
Yeah, you try it for sure.
He's giving you something to look at, but that's going to be a tough one.
You know, from that second angle, it looked like it was under the arm. It certainly wasn't late. Yeah, I'm not sure, but that second look, see what the replay center comes up with. because Arbuckle was letting go of the football at the time, hit him underneath the arm.
Well, this is the game right here. One more look at it. Is this roughing the passer?
Upon review by the replay center, there was no roughing the passer on the play. Therefore, Toronto was charged their final timeout. First down, Montreal.
Montreal will keep the ball. Here's a look at the interception.
Ento could just play the football cleanly because he wasn't the guy covering me tall.
Caleb Evans in the game, hands it off. 48 seconds on the clock. What a wild final few moments here in Montreal to kick off another week in the Canadian Football League.
Well, we hope Davis Alexander is healthy for next week, but this holds the last 40 seconds. He goes to 8-0 as a starter. Ties Danny McManus.
2nd and 7. This one will be driven back immediately. Jordan Williams making the play with 29 seconds on the clock. And Janarian Grant looms large down at his own 20, waiting to see what the Alouettes are going to do.
Joseph Zima has done a nice job of trying to limit his returns with directional kicking between the numbers and the hash marks.
Grant, one of the best to ever do it, stands on his own 16.
Returner has to count, make sure there's 11 in front of him, and he's the 12th.
Zima will let the clock tick down. 9 seconds difference. Does Grant have this in him? That's away. Grant takes it just inside the 20. 4 seconds on the clock. No room to go anywhere, and it's over. Special teams finishes it for the Alouettes as they complete the comeback to stun the Argos.
Huge fourth quarter for Davis Alexander, who limps off but goes to 8-0, the start of his journey.
Tied for the best start in his CFL career. 8 wins. He joins Danny Mack at the top. There it is. Best record to start a career in the history of the league. This one was tight, but they found a way to get it done. Thrilling fashion. The Owls outscored the Argos 12-0 in the fourth quarter to come back and pick up a 26-25 victory. The Argos 1-5 on the season. What a night in Montreal. Let's send it to SportsCenter.